Hey everybody, this is Joe Ryan back on the scene, Stanford Sports Scene Radio for our second episode as we bring to you an interview with Zach Smith, the Stanford High School basketball coach who has recently been named the FCIAC Coach of the Year. Zach did a fine job bringing the undersized but hustling Black Knights to a winning record and tickets to both the FCIAC and the state dance right now. He's getting his team ready to take on Naugatuck, who will be visiting the Cutco Gym tomorrow night to take on Stanford in the first round of the state FCIAC playoffs. And we're going to have Zach here in just a few minutes.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, how the boys looking so far?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We had about 10 days off, and we had to regroup a little bit. So hopefully we're ready for tomorrow.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations for being named FCIAC Coach of the Year. You definitely deserved it. You did a fine job with the team this year, getting them ready and getting them to both the FCIAC and the state tournament. I mean, you got to feel good about the achievement so far, but I know there's still work ahead of you right now, right?
Sure. Well, thank you for the congratulations. The FCIAC season was, we had some ups and downs, but we did enough to get into the tournament. We would have liked to do a little bit better. I thought we had a tough matchup there against Trinity, but we gave them a game. We had a chance to win it at the end. We just couldn't make enough plays. They made about one or two more plays than we did. But all in all, it was a good experience for us. Obviously getting there and then building for the future. So getting some of those guys' experience in a tight FCI playoff game is only going to help us going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be very, very happy with the way they held their discipline within the game, stuck to the game plan. Even when you had a couple of your stars get into foul trouble, the rest of the guys filled in against, like you said, Trinity was the favorite team coming in, but I mean, you gave them all they could handle. I mean, and just to have your team be able to stick with the game plan, like I said, and not get a little out of shape when you had stars in foul trouble, had to give you a lot of confidence going into another playoff situation tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not only obviously experience for next year, like I said before, but experience for tomorrow in a playoff game where we may be faced with the same situation. So any experience in a playoff game is big, and hopefully we can, if we're in the same spot, that we can lean on that experience and it can bring us, it can advance us.
What do you know about Naugatuck? What type of team are they? I mean, they're kind of I don't think I've ever had to cover them in any even tournament or anything, so I have no background with Naugatuck at all. What have you learned about them?
Well, I know this. We're a little bit fortunate. We got a little bit lucky because if they only scheduled 19 games. I don't know if they had one canceled and they didn't make it up. But I think if they were 13-7, that we'd be going to Naugatuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit of a break for us. So they went 12-7. I know that they made their conference tournament. They have a player who's averaging over 25 points a game. They're young. They don't pose a problem for us size-wise as some of the teams in the FCIAC did this year. But they obviously have a very talented scorer. Like I said, over 25 points a game. So we need to be prepared for him. And it's going to be similar to when we played against Conway, that type of player, because he really carries them.
How does the Kutzko factor, having the game in the home gymnasium, factor in for the kids? Looking forward to it. Does it help them? I mean, everybody talks about the home court advantage. Come tournament time, when you're facing a one and done situation, does it really matter being at home as much as it does, say, during the year?
I think that being home in the state tournament is a big advantage. Now, when you're playing a team from out of conference, I think that the advantage is even more because travel. So it's always hard, to these kids aren't used to an hour and a half, 2-hour bus rides, and to have to get off the bus and play a game. I think is difficult. I think your home court advantage is not as much if we were playing an FCIAC team, who's been to our gym before, who's used to those trips, and the trip, and it's a much closer trip. If we were going up to Naugatuck, that would be a challenge for us. And I think, we're glad that we're home because we think that's going to, we hope that we're going to present a challenge for Naugatuck, having them have on to our gym.
Now, I don't want to, I know you're concentrating totally on Naugatuck, but I talked to your old friend, Coach Melzer, yesterday,
Yep.
and he seemed to think that Division II for the FCIAC people as a whole was a good draw. He felt like having the amount of FCIAC teams in there and the type of talent there would give the FCIAC teams not an upper hand, so to speak, but a good competitive. They'd be very competitive within the Division II. How do you feel when you look at the overall draw of Division II?
It's different than what we're used to being in Double L. So a lot of those schools, are now in Division I. But there's still a lot of good teams. Simsbury, who's the number 1 seed in Division II, has lost 3 games. They lost 2 to Windsor and 1 to East Catholic. So they haven't lost to anybody who's not, they haven't lost to any slouches. It's why I would say that Division II is wide open for the simple fact that you took a lot of the really strong programs and put them in Division I. But there's still a lot left in Division II. And as far as how the draw is for the rest of the FCIAC, we don't know. The FCIAC didn't have a great year out of conference this year, so we'll see how we stack up now. We have some good teams, but we got to call it what it is. We weren't very good out of conference this year, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think I did tabulation, and I think overall the conference was like 33 and 36. Most of the conference was 500, and a couple of guys like I think New Canaan surprisingly did very well out of conference, whereas some other big conference teams took a beating on the road there.
Yeah, and I don't know when the last time. I mean, I would think that may be the first time that's happened in 20, 30 years. So, and you tallied it up. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We have not had a good year out of conference.
Overall, when you're looking at the kids right now, just one tournament game in the last 2 years for these kids. What do you think? I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel. You have to kind of really depend on what you do well and making sure they do well. Is that how you're looking at this game as a coach? I mean, you're not going to totally reinvent the Black Knights to fit what you maybe think tournament basketball is about. Is tournament basketball about doing what you do well and just hoping and just making sure you execute? Is that what it's all about in tournament time?
Yeah, and the hope is, and this is not always the case, but the hope is that you're playing teams that aren't as familiar with you, so you'll be able to run some of your stuff a little bit cleaner maybe than you were able to run it, in league play against teams that have seen you, scouted you 3-4 times. So that's obviously a hope. The FCIAC, we don't do ourselves any favors by having our games on YouTube. It's not always easy to find some of these other teams' games as much as you can find the FCIAC games. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage, but it is what it is. It's nice when you get out of the when you're done with your FCIAC schedule to see some fresh opponents, though. That's for sure.
Well, it's the curse of being one of the popular guys, one of the big boys. That's what when you have a rich tradition like the FCIAC, people come and find you. You don't have to go looking for them to cover you. So overall, looking into the game for tomorrow, I mean, is there any? I know you won't give away a game plan or anything, but how do you feel that your team suits well against what you've seen, what you think about Naugatuck so far?
Yeah, I mean, on our matchup, we just have to be able to not let the kid number 5, Luke Cow is his name, hurt us. If he's going to hurt us for 25 plus, it's going to be tough for us. If we can sort of contain him, we'll give ourselves a good chance, I feel.
And that was Zach Smith, the newly elected Coach of the Year in the FCIAC, giving us a few minutes of his time after practice as he gets ready for his opening round in the Division II CIAC tournament tomorrow night at Stanford, entertaining Naugatuck. This is Joe Ryan with the Stanford Sports Scene Radio for Monday, March 5th.